Hello and welcome to UK Versus, bringing you theories, news, and more. Win, lose, or draw. We are back with another segment into the Red Horizon light novel discussion. We are back with Chapter 6, Espionage. I am, as always, joined by the Lawkeeper,
That makes me sound more important than I actually am.
author, uh, author, creative director, and voice of the audiobook, Cody Kent. How you doing, my friend?
My voice is not that good, but sure. You're kind of gassing me up for something I'm not really, but I appreciate that.
I told you that the title was going to keep getting longer the longer this goes on for.
Like all of my jobs keep I like Cody the XYZ ABC, but also 1, 2, and 3, I guess.
Cody, the Gigantamax, Mega Evolved, Shiny,
Terastalized.
Terastallized Regional Variant.
So this week we are covering chapter 6, which is
Yeah.
espionage. So I'm gonna let you start this because I already know what happens in all of this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, Espionage follows the adventures of, for the first part, of Miska, who is infiltrating the ENKI labs to find out what's going on because the Canadian government seems to be a little bit apprehensive that ENKI, who have been politically neutral up until now, have somehow become under US government kind of partnership, which they're worried about, especially given the technological and medical advances that have come under since the miracle cure and whatnot. And then following on from the adventures there, we get another dose of Reece being manipulated by Natalie, who somehow has either a Google alert or some kind of sixth sense for when the plot is moving and she's not there because she needs to be part of the plot.
Well, so the first part of the chapter, Miska first enters in, and also up to the first page, I guess Miska is breaking in, and then she is contacted by General Larent. I tried to pick a French sounding first name, or last name anyway.
The breaking is very stereotypical, with like the countdown and the zip lining, and then the suction cup with the blade.
Yeah, it's I basically went as classic as classic break and entering. It's like I'm in, and this is where you kind of have to start because this. Remember how I said in the previous chapters, like I'm starting to stretch my arms here and figuring out like how could I continue to show these little breadcrumbs here and there.
Yeah,
It's like how did the Canadian government get any of this information to begin with? It's not that Natalie probably has a Google alert. She probably just told them, and they were like, what's going on here?"
that would
Like
imply that Natalia knew that there was a soulbound in Canada and knew that they would send them to do it.
you are mistaken on that part. She didn't know that Miska was a soulbound. She had no idea. All she did was just give the information out there, and she knew that someone would show up to do this thing.
Because she needed to get Reese more under her thumb, and that was the easiest way to do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, like it is again. Remember, things that she's not aware of start to pile up and start to show up.
Yeah,
That the intent was in the background that Miska was given information that is correct. The information is correct. There is no that is there is at no point Natalie lies. She just doesn't tell the entire truth, which
yeah.
contrary to what people might believe, not telling someone the truth is not a lie. That's like bullshit.
It's an omission.
Like
It's an
like
omission.
yeah, it's an omission, which is why it's called an omission, not a lie, or a untruth or a mistruth or however you want to say it. But she essentially gave the information to leak to like she leaked it to someone else intentionally, and she was eventually going to. She knew that they would send somebody because, alas, what government doesn't spy on other governments?
Yeah,
Like I guarantee you, England is spying on America at some point, whether it means anything or not. Who knows? Was it
especially
MI
when it,
six, MI6, or something like that? Like James Bond.
especially when it's ENKI, one of the most powerful pharmaceutical medical companies in the world, teaming up with the American government, who has said that, and especially when the government has been outright saying we're going to be giving better healthcare to our soldiers. Like, okay, maybe we need to like see what's going on here.
Yeah, maybe we need to. And it was something that was both unplanned for and like I didn't think it would go this well, kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's like, yes, I expected them to send a spy and then like this would blow over and all of that. It's like, wait a minute. Like she goes, wait a minute. Interesting. I got more than what I put into this gamble.
yeah. They expect them to
Let's see what we got over here.
get into ENKI, get near the labs, but not actually get into the labs, get the information, and have to be dealt with by Project Caden.
Yeah. And the whole idea is that again, it is you bet $100 and you're expected to get like 150 back. She bet $100 and got 1,000 back, and she was like, interesting.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. Let's see what's going on here. I still have my $100. Let's put that 900 back out. Let's see what's going on here. And it turns out for her, it's like, well, she pivots as she always does. She's again plans within plans, and it goes to she had planned for this to be a thing. So if they ever got that far, she's like, well, let's send our new toy out and see what it can do. And as it could cause as much damage as possible, again to smokescreen something that is no one's supposed to be looking at.
Yeah.
Controlled opposition is what it usually is.
One of the big things that we did get revealed in here is the relationship between Miska and Fenrir, because when we've seen the relationship between Reece and Arthur, it's very symbiotic. It's very they rely on each other. Like Arthur relies on Reece to get context for the world and what's going on, and like explain the things around him a little bit. And Reece can kind of use Arthur's powers without having to force it, like with Miska, and like Vincent is able to tap into the Phoenix without having to bend or ask or break, but Miska has to ask Fenrir for help, and Fenrir belittles her for it by saying, "You tried to force your way into my power, and now you're here pleading for it."
So the concept for Miska was that she's supposed to be the 0 to Vincent's 100. Like between Vincent and the Phoenix, there is no delineation. It's just they are so in tune with each other. It's just second nature to him. He
Yeah,
doesn't feel a different presence within him. It is him. It's just that close. Reece
quite
is more about the 70%.
kind of similar to soul to soul resonance. Like,
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Like it's just you're just so in tune with each other. It just does not feel like someone else is there. It feels like it's you,
yeah,
right? And Reece is more about the 70 to 80%, where it is not necessarily because they're like spiritually connected or anything like that. It's just Arthur himself is just very affable. Arthur is just like very much so a nice guy, a pretty nice dude, and is very understanding. He's also one of the more chatty ones in terms of like being out there and speaking
yeah,
to you. Fenrir represents the 0 because I wanted to provide a little bit of a difference in all of the characters to where I wanted to show off that a soulbound and their guardian can often be at odds with each other.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's still a symbiotic relationship. And the whole idea I had with Fenrir was that he wants to help her, but we're going to take a little bit of a slant here and go, you need to help yourself first. And we're going to take like the old adage of it is fine to ask for help, but you need to do this first and fail
yeah.
before you even ask for help.
A bit similar to like All Might and Deku kind of thing. Go like, you need to train to hold my power. You need to figure out how to use it yourself. I cannot tell you how to use my power. I need you to try and fail, and I can guide you, but I cannot just give you it.
So also at the same time, it is to show off that both of these particular characters, both Fenrir and Miska, is that they are both, shocker, the symbolism is very understandable. They're both loners.
Yeah.
They're both very solitary people. And typically when you get two people like that in the same room, they're not the best of friends.
No.
They don't they don't get along. They don't vibe with each other. They'll sit in the corner of both sides of the room, and they'll like just stare at each other and kind of leave each other alone. And the I again, this is implied because again, all of this was the first draft and ideas of everything was that Miska is a soulbound.
Yeah.
We find out that she, unlike others, came across, and I think I think I do it here. I'm not sure. Oh no, it's probably in no, it's a volume 2 that I do a 2 or 3 pages about it. Is that Miska came across Fenrir. Fenrir didn't come to her. And I'm going off of the lore of Fenrir in the Edda prose, or the original stuff that is about typical God, Nordic mythos.
Yeah.
That Fenrir is the one that's going to bring about the end of the world at some point, and they have to use the red cloth to bind him and keep him in prison essentially. Um, Fenrir is that's a 1-to-1 that just happened. Now, was it actually was it like the Norse gods and what we know about as about? Maybe, who knows? But Fenrir probably was a force of nature, much like the Phoenix, that was very destructive, and they thought he's probably going to do some bad shit. Let's tie him up and just leave him be to suffer eternally. Who knows?
So we've got our loner, dark-haired, depressed Canadian. At what point will they meet their blonde-haired golden retriever best friend?
I think that's like
Because that's how it works. If you got one, you have to get the other eventually.
it's after in 2 chapters.
Called it. You can't give me a check-off personality about giving
Glepnir, the Fetters of Fenrir was I was like, I know the Fetters of Fenrir, I just didn't know the name of it. But the red cloth is what bound Fenrir to essentially become dormant and die. And then Miska, since Miska lives in what essentially is a abandoned military base, because she just wants to be alone. She's like a hermit out there. She goes wandering around one day, sees this giant decaying statue. She pulls the red cloth off it because the cloth is like, hey, this is a nice cloth. Look at that. And she just thinks it's a statue. She pulls it off, and Fenrir says, "Thank you for freeing me. I'm going to help you only as recompense. I don't like you, but I'm going to say thank you. But I don't like you because I do not like humans."
Kind of like a death debt.
Pretty much, yeah. Like you have saved my life, or you have freed me. I will guide you and help you
until that debt is paid.
But that does not change the fact I don't like humans because they did this to me in the first place.
Oh, it's Fenrir Sundere.
No, he actually no. He Sundere implies he likes you at some point. So Sundere implies that he has affection for you. No, he does not like humans, but he is like, you did this thing for me. I am bound by honor. I will help you.
Now, Yuki, I need Sundere Fenrir art of like him blushing, looking at Miski, going, "It's not like I like you or anything, Baka."
No. He would actually say, "I just don't fucking like you because of your personality, bitch." Like, so you are a person who will sit there and try and like ram your head against the wall, and then not understand what you're doing wrong, and you're going to ask for help. And then when I'm helping you, you're not going to listen to me and telling you why you're fucking up. That's why I don't like you, asshole.
Does Miska wear the red cloth that was used to bind Fenrir, or is it just...
What's her coat color?
That's what I was kind of like getting, because
What's the color of her
she
coat?
wears a lot of red, so essentially
She is wearing the coat because it's a nice piece of cloth. Also, Fenrir, as much as you're about to imply that Fenrir doesn't give a shit about that.
no,
To him,
I wasn't going to imply that Fenrir cares about that. What I was implying is that the red cloth that was used to bind Fenrir is still being used to bind Fenrir.
he is here on a lease. He is here until his lease is up, and that's when she's dead. But the idea here is that both Miska and Fenrir are butting heads because they're the same kind of person.
Yeah.
They're in fact just the same kind of person. To where one sees the other as annoying, and both of them are. I want to say it's not that they're ignorant. It's just they don't. They are the kind of people who only rely on themselves, and see them asking for help is burdensome to both themselves and the person around them.
Seeing as we did last episode, and we drew comparisons like 80s action movies where Miska was in the cabin in the woods, and then the Canadian authorities came to go, "We need you for one last mission." It's essentially a 80s buddy cop movie of the this Miska, this is your new partner. Fenrir's like, "I don't need a partner." It's like, no.
Well, no, that's actually Lily compared in comparison. No, because like that's also with Lily is again spoilers for two chapters here. I put them together because their personalities are a contrast.
Yeah,
Like whilst Fenrir and Miska are essentially the same person, Lily and Miska are like exact opposites.
yeah.
And that's the buddy cop movie you're thinking about.
Well, no, that's the comedy buddy cop movie. Like, uh, Miska and Fenrir are more like Tango and Cash, whereas
Yeah,
uh,
sure, I can see. Yeah, sure.
and then
Sure.
Lily and Miska are more like Rush Hour.
Yeah. Um,
Also, props for knowing what Tango and Cash was. That's an old ass movie now.
I'm not as old as you are. It's um, but the whole chapter was supposed to be just introducing this new character while progressing the narrative and trying to put these little things in between. Because if I recall, the next one is where Lily is introduced,
Oh.
and the one after that is when Lily and Miska are together, or not together, but they meet up. And then nine is the escape, and 10 is the end. Well,
Well,
end.
the end of volume one. So
Yeah.
Miska gets to the basement labs. Where did Natalie expect them to get to? Because, like I said, they didn't expect Natalie them to get as far as they did. Did they expect them to get to like Eva and all those projects, or did they expect to like get stopped within ENKI?
Um, Natalie expected her to get to the floor that both Caden and Ava are in.
Okay, so he expected them to get to the floor, just not down there. And uh,
Below fucking surface level, like get smart, 10 different elevators, eye scan, hand palm scan, that kind of stuff.
I mean, the laser grid in the elevator shaft would have got rid of most, would have stopped most people if it wasn't. I think the soul bound agility of the wolf kind of saved her there.
That so the other thing is that most soulbound people, and we'll start to notice that we'll start to see this as this half of the book goes, is that they are supernaturally gifted. Anyone who is a soulbound has what essentially would be Captain America. He's not a mutant, he's superhuman. He is the epitome of what a human can be without being a mutant. Like he's like one step below. Most soulbound are that. Like they may not be as strong, but they're just as agile, just as fast, stuff like that. They are enhanced humans versus someone like Skullman, who is actually would essentially be a mutant in terms of like Marvel standards, whilst Reece or Miska or Lily are superhumans. Do they have quirks that are attached to their particular guardian? Yes. Reece has the ability to regenerate. Lily can see the dead. Like she can see, and this is something that's actually in one of the cards. You are not alone. She can see the dead. Miska specifically, and it is something that it has not been revealed yet, but she has the ability to not necessarily teleport, move between
Yeah.
spaces. Like it's it's Bleach and Flash Step, I guess.
Superhuman agility kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's not really revealed as to as because it's not really that important. Is that Miska can just move very fast. That's why she's able to jump and move around this entire building. That is her inherent thing that Fenrir gives to her essentially,
Yeah.
unknowingly.
I assume like part of it of her power set as well is kind of the super is that kind of like the hunter's stealth kind of thing because when Reece shows up, he senses
like like like
absolutely
like like he's like she's like on
yeah
top of like the roof, like holding herself up like that. Yep.
yeah
Like
he senses absolutely nothing from there, whereas he could like sense the malice from uh Natalie. He you know he's not he's naive, but he's not an idiot. If there was any kind of bloodlust or pressure in that room, either him or Arthur would have picked it up, but it was almost kind of be able to suppress her presence from other things.
so it's something I do kind of hint at later is that your ability to suppress like a signature of some kind is active. Like you actually have to actively do it. Like if you're not like actively trying to hide your particular presence, you will show up like a light bulb. It is also linked to your mental state, which is what I bring up I think in chapter 8, where Lily just sees her. Like I'm down the block and I see a spotlight over that way because Miska is no longer trying to hide herself. She's no longer like trying to be stealthy, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah,
Like she's not terribly aware of that because her and Fenrir don't often do these kind of things together, right? But it has to be something actively done. But also, and again, it's supposed to be left up to interpretation. Like, is she actually doing it, or is Fenrir actually helping her? That's supposed to be like the give and take on that. Normally, you can just kind of sense it from another person, but again, also as we go on, Lily is the veteran amongst the group who
yeah,
tells everyone, "Hey, if you actually just do this, it's not hard." Reece doesn't know how to do specific things because again, no one taught him. Miska doesn't know a lot of things because she's often at odds with Fenrir. She doesn't know how to do all these things because of the relationship. Lily probably has more of a copacetic relationship with hers, therefore knows how to do a lot more things. But and this is where after this chapter is the first jump in time.
uh-huh.
Like the time is always jumping forward. It's never like going backwards in volume 1. This is where we first see Ava inside of the tube.
Yeah,
And this was the first particular piece of art that I gave to Yuki that had to be changed from its original because obviously things change over time. Where in the original art, Ava, and this is where I guess some of the particular original ideas seemed good at the time, but in hindsight, probably not. Is that both Ava and Caden, their eyes burst, and I didn't particularly understand why it had to be like that, but I didn't question it at the time. And if you look at the artwork of Rebirth, which is Ava in the tube of the original one, she's missing her right arm.
oh
Like if you look at the art of Rebirth, she does not have her right arm, and this was one of the particular things I decided to change. Was that you can kind of only kick the puppy so many times before it becomes not as
yeah,
good to do so. Um, I decided to have that be more of a Caden thing rather than Ava. But yeah, in the picture of Rebirth, Ava does not have her.
Yeah.
right arm, her right arm. Instead, this was the first thing that we saw, and it was a common thing that we were told about because even in level 99 exceed, Ava's art had to be changed because that was also the Kickstarter one, if I recall. Because all the Red
Oh.
Horizon stuff was the Kickstarter stuff. The way Ava was presented to me and told about to me, it's like it wasn't going to be congruent with what I had for her moving forward. But this would be the first piece of art that I basically told Yuki we got to go with something different here. Like we got
Yeah.
to do something different here because it's not that I don't agree with it. It's just we can only go so far before it becomes excessive in what we're trying to say. Sometimes it's better to say less and do more, but sometimes you need to do the opposite. Do more, say less, right? And having her already go through all of this and continuing to have those particular things happen to her, it's like how far can I push this child down the stairs before it becomes just in bad taste? Like I could delegate all of that to Caden and have that make him more interesting at all, but like why? And it's a personal thought process of mine is I want my characters to be unique personally, but when you have two people who have the exact same kind of thing, personally I go, why do I have two characters?
Yeah.
That's just a personal thing for me. It's like why do I have two characters doing the exact same thing? Let's shake it up. Let's spice it up. That was the first thing I essentially had to make an executive decision when it comes to like rounding out the edges from the original. Was this particular picture of Miska pulling up the paper and going, "Oh, you're gonna be all right, kid," and foreshadowing things are not going to be all right. Things are just not going to be all right for her at the end of the day, as if we've seen from card art and whatnot. Um, and that is the again we're seeing what you said the cross section here of this like basically by what happens this is happening at the same time as the previous chapter, like the exact same time where Reece is right there, Ava's right there, Miska's right here, and it's all converging on one point.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of guess when the particular end of Ava's chapter happens, when Natalie shows up and Natalie sticks Caden on Miska. That's where you can kind of see like the convergence there of when things happened. Um, and this is the first time it is mentioned that it is strange you soulbound are inexplicably be attracted to each other whenever my kind are around. Truly baffling.
Hinting that this has happened before.
Possibly. Because soulbounds are not anything new in terms of history. It's just people might not understand it.
Yeah.
And it's like it might be like we're all just drawn to each other in some fashion, like like just for no real reason, birds of a feather, or we're magnetically drawn to somebody, or it might just be the universe is very strange in the way it is.
Yeah. It comes back to what I was saying like, a couple of episodes ago. Like, Natalia's had this plan for a while. It's just now humanity's at a stage where they have the technological advancements to allow them to understand the soulbound because they've not really been able. You couldn't dissect a soulbound and like look at their DNA and look at the insides of them in any great detail 100 years ago.
Yeah, because also typically when the host died, the guardian just like
Yeah,
just left. So it's like, oh man, we vivisected this dude. He's just a guy. He's just a dude.
but now we
Like,
have like Ava being kept on life support in a tube being killed. It's like, oh cool, I can now experiment with this child.
yep, I can now I so in the full book, the first domino falls, Natalie just says, you have unlocked the thing that is going to progress humanity further than you could ever imagine. Too bad you're not going to be here to reap your rewards because now I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
And this was the last piece that she needed, and this is why I mentioned that this took her hundreds of years to concoct, and it's only going to take 10 years for her to
Finish it.
finish it, because she needed that one thing to happen, was someone to figure it out,
So
one
was
person to figure
Natalie
it out.
watching from the start? So she was monitoring NK the entire time and only stepped in once once Miska looked up Project Caden and like got the information on what she's doing.
Yeah, so she again, controlled opposition. So she didn't expect Miska to get this far, but that doesn't mean she didn't plan for this. She's like, you know what? She could take the information, let other people, like, maybe that might work to my benefit. Maybe other people knowing about, and this is actually kind of where I take a lot of inspiration from, like, many things. Miska was actually based on a lot of stuff that Kojima had wrote for Solid Snake.
Mhm.
Is the fact that the whole point from Metal Gear Solid 1 to 2 was to get the Metal Gear Rex data onto the black market. Because once everyone has Metal Gears, that's a problem. So this is also kind of a little hint to that, is like, well, once the idea of Project Cadence out there, that might work to my advantage.
Once
Because
everyone's doing what I'm doing, but only I have the knowledge on how to do it. I become a
yeah,
commodity.
I I become a commodity, and you've actually nailed that quite well. And even then, that information might not reach its end goal.
No.
That information, like, she might grab it, but that might not, depending on how she views the whole thing. That might not, like, yeah, she might send off the data, but also she might be on the other end intercepting that, or telling someone, hey, just ignore that. Just ignore that email that you just got.
Yeah. Also, Natalie's gonna have plans on plans on plans. The relationship with Vincent isn't one based on trust or mutual understanding. It's a very rocky relationship. So having contacts in Canada, China, Russia, North Korea, South Korea, Japan, who are also working on their own superhuman projects. If the relationship with Vincent goes tits up, you just go, cool, I'm just gonna go join the other guys then.
Yeah, it's actually, to be honest, there are a lot of inspirations I took for Natalie specifically. I mentioned in the first one Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist,
Yeah.
but also things like Revolver Ocelot in the Metal Gear games. Revolver Ocelot's like a quadruple agent, and there's like a third arm pointing at myself while another one's pointing. I was like, whose side is he on? The answer is,
Does
whose
he
side?
does he even know at this point?
No, Ocelot knows he's on the side of himself. He's on your boy, right? But towards the end of the chapter here, Natalie uses this to her advantage. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, we're supposed to be having this thing, and you have people breaking in all willy nilly. Shocker, I was the one who had her break in, but that's not the problem here.
Regardless, it's like you told us everything would be safe. You told us you had the best security. You told us this couldn't happen. I orchestrated a plan to make sure it did happen, but that's beside the point. You
Yeah,
told me it couldn't happen.
you told me this bulletproof vest would work. I shot myself with it, and obviously the bulletproof vest no longer works.
I
Wait, hold on. What did you say? You shot your? We're not talking about that part.
I mean, you shot yourself with an armor piercing bullet, like a soulbound, but you didn't specify that, that
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah. It
stop
doesn't.
it.
It doesn't say that in the instructions, right? And also at the end of the chapter here, if you notice, I tried to make it as clear as possible. The footage doesn't show Caden. The footage just shows Miska.
Mm.
The footage just shows Miska blowing up a wall and escaping. And that's when she, like, closes the laptop in front of him, to where maybe Caden is recorded there, but she's either A, being dramatic about it, or B, Caden's not on that camera.
Yeah. Oh,
So
he's been removed. He's been deleted. He's been wiped.
at this
I
point,
mean, even if you just cut from the blowing up of the wall and close the laptop before Caden even
that's
shows up.
that's actually more the intent I had, was like, yes, Miska's running down the hallway. It's like, and they do the dramatic thing of, hey, this is your fault.
Yeah, it's
Like that was how the scene plays out in my head. Like the minute Caden's about to show up, it's like
like
you
a
gotta do.
classic misdirect of we don't need to see anymore because you fucked up enough. But it's like, I've been watching a lot of The Mentalist this week, and it's kind of like that thing of you want them looking where you want them looking, not where they want to be looking. So you're like, oh, yeah, you don't need to see. It's like you don't need to see this, but I need your attention. So you've messed up. Look what happened here because of you. So they don't want to look at it because the guilt's there of we've messed up that project, and especially for Reece, who is trying to actively heal Eva, to put Eva in danger.
Yeah, and again, she was like, "Well, you were down there a second ago in that same footage. What happened?" He was
Why
like,
didn't you see them?
I
Why didn't
don't."
you know something was wrong? Kind of thing.
Yeah, and to go back to the inspiration for Natalie and what started for, actually, what actually kicked off the idea of, there's a movie called Law Abiding Citizen with Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. The whole idea of the movie is that Gerard Butler plays this very, very like involved mastermind where everything he is doing is on purpose. And all he's getting to do is to have Jamie Foxx admit that he was wrong, he fucked up, and he needs to make things right. But Jamie Foxx is not doing that because he's a criminal, and we do not negotiate with terrorists, right? And he says, "All right, things are going to get worse." And the entirety of the whole movie is that he's doing these things intentionally to get Jamie Foxx's attention, but he can't pin it back to him.
Yeah.
And there's at one point in the movie where he kills his cellmate. I want a T-bone steak and some mashed potatoes, and he just like eats it in front of his cellmate. He's like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face if you don't give me that." He's like, "All right, go ahead." He gives him the T-bone steak and everything like that, and he takes the bone and stabs the dude in the neck and kills him. And Jamie Foxx is like, "Well, yes, we have to put him in solitary confinement." He's like, "Are you joking? That's where he wants to be. If you put him there, he's there for a reason. You have like he's still doing all this stuff in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
This is what he wants."
It's
And
one
that's
it's one of those things that the mental chess of if we put them in solitary confinement, that's maybe exactly where they want to be.
in which by the end of the movie you figured out that he had already dug a hole in that solitary confinement. He would lift up the bed or like open up the side of the solitary confinement. There's a tunnel he just walks out of. No one's ever going to look for him during the day. He goes out and does the stuff, comes back in, sits down, and is like, "Ah, yes, I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I've been in this room this entire time.
There's no better alibi than I was in prison.
I was in solitary confinement." And he's like, "Well, he was specifically put in this specific block. That's what he wants." And that's the whole point of Natalia as a character. It's like she's going to do everything, and it's never on accident.
Yeah.
Things like this is never on accident.
It's all part of her
And
cosmic chessboard.
yeah, and that's really like the initial idea was that movie was when I first saw it. I'm like, you know what, this could make for a very interesting shtick for her. Yes, is she present in every chapter? To me, I enjoy villains like that, and I mentioned it
Yeah.
before, but to have a villain that's there fucking with you the entire time and just doing these small things, it makes the payoff that much better. Rather than a villain showing up halfway through, murdering everyone in the room and saying, "Ah, yes, come fight me," and then moving on. That's not interesting to me.
No.
Like, I prefer more of a Kefka from Final Fantasy VI compared to Sephiroth from 7. Sephiroth just shows up, murders everyone in the room, and just deuces out. Versus Kefka, who just shows up, poisons an entire village, laughs at you, calls you an idiot, and runs away. He doesn't and even then, when cornered, he's like, "Oh, don't hurt me. I'm just a little clown man." And goes, "Hee," and runs off. Like, I prefer villains like that, where like I have a reason to hate you. You're not just a murderous monster.
No, I mean, I get that. I'm more a fan of like the overarching mastermind, like the anime
Mm-hmm.
movie, D&D kind of BBEG, where the subtle hints are put in throughout like the entirety of like the 12 episodes if it's a run. Like you hear the names of corporations or you hear the names of stuff as stuff goes like, oh, have you heard about X Corp like uh cutting off funding here just in passing? And then you get to like the end, and it's like, oh yeah, the big man is the head of X Corp, who's like worked on this entire thing. Is like an interweaving web, so that they've been there, but you haven't directly heard yet. It's like you have to go back and reread or rewatch to see all the sort of hints that were leading up to this one point.
And I did think about this like as I was at work this morning to as a idea, or as a particular contrast. You ever see Legend of Korra, Avatar?
Yeah,
In the first season, why does Amon wear a mask?
the only reason that in shows and movies that characters wear masks or your voice changes is because we know who they are.
So for us, the watcher, it would be very important for Amon to not wear that mask so we know who he is.
Yeah,
So when the reveal to the other people, it's a reveal to the characters in the show. So when the reveal for Amon where the mask comes off, who the fuck is he?
yeah,
We don't know who Amon is. Like, so what? Why is that important for us? For us, the player, the watchers, to know that the mask doesn't like because when the mask is revealed, it's not to anyone important. It's to
no,
us, the watchers. Like, who the fuck is Amon? Like,
yeah,
all right, he's some politician, and that is what I tried to do this entire time was make. Yes, it is very obvious to the reader. The Natalie and Natalie, shocker, their names are the fucking so similar. That's the point, is that it's not a shock to us. It's going to be a shock to the people around
yeah,
that there is this demon that's just like meddling in every single thing that she can. That's where it's narratively important to them, not to us. We know. We can tell this person's not trustworthy in any way, shape, or form, but it's supposed to be relative to them.
I mean,
And that's why I
yeah,
constantly have her in every chapter doing something.
exactly. And I think it's now starting to dawn on Reece the gravity of the situation he's in with this partnership with the like Vincent and stuff, because it'd be like the chapter ends with just like, what do I do now kind of thing of his company's being invaded, his stuff's being destroyed, he's trying to help people, and he's being dragged kicking and screaming into a fight he never wanted.
Yeah, and a lot of the original ideas of Reece was based on Jasco.
Hmm.
Reece inherits this company that, or he has a company that he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. He's flying by the seat of his pants, but he has the bestest of intentions in the world, right? And more often than not, he's beset by many things that stress him the fuck out. Like I took a lot of the idea of the inspiration because Jason had mentioned a lot of it was Vincent Gray was the task of UFS that he had to tackle versus himself. He's not Reece specifically, but the idea is there.
Yeah, I think you said before that it was the duality of Jason, like being thrown into this head of a game situation on top, paralleled with the carefree person he was within the like the store.
Yeah. And that's supposed to mirror here. It's like he's fucked up and he's taking it to heart, but on the outside it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah,
From to the outside person, this is just he fucked up. Therefore, point a finger and laugh at him, which sure, that's what it's supposed to be. Um, but that's really what I tried to get across here. Is like he's in over his head at this point.
yeah. I mean,
And
Reece is just a wholesome kind of more straightforward thinking, because, like we saw it, like we see in the chapter, he just goes up to Eva's tank and he's just like really apologetic, even though she can't hear him, and is like still pumping the healing energy into Eva with no one around, like just trying to like help and speed up the process as much as he can.
so this is also where I was going to explain how the miracle cure actually works. Because now that we actually see like the actual machine and whatnot, is that all the machine is doing is they have found the way to actually make someone more receptive to soulbound energy. They made someone more receptive to receiving it because it's going to be explained in a little bit that you can take your energy and put it into somebody. Like you can just do that.
Yeah,
But too much of it, it'll start to eat away like bacteria. Like it'll start to like actually fester in your body because one, it's not yours, like an invading bacteria, or B, you might not have the spiritual capacity to handle it.
Overcharging a
So,
battery kind of thing.
yeah. And the idea is that all the machine is doing is making it more receptive, and you're regulating the idea of me going boop and putting a little bit of my energy into you, therefore creating the process of using that particular soulbound energy to a normal person's, like, again, drinking, taking the serum that Steve Rogers did. It kind of went and like he turned into like a 6'5" brick shithouse from like the little man he used to be, but that might be temporary, but it might give enough of a side effect to where it cures most things. Example, the idea of the miracle cure initially was it reverses cell death. And if you think about that, that is a lot of diseases that
Yeah.
exist in human nature.
That's just human
Cancer,
mortality in general.
humans, cancer specifically is cell death. Like your cells start attacking each other and attacking themselves, and all the miracle cure does is stop that process because it essentially it's chemotherapy without the whole radiation part. But what it can do is get rid of most diseases that would kill a person via cell death, and which is a lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things. But all it's really doing is going, I'm putting like 1%. I just touch the thing, it lights up for a little bit, and then the process starts again. This is why Reece was not able to tell everyone, hey, you can't sell this. It's like, why? It's like, you're just selling water in a jar. You're not actually selling the cure. The cure is right here, the guy right here. And
Hmm.
that's why he can't sell it, because it's him.
Yeah.
He has to help regulate that.
You'd have to find a way to essentially you have to find a way for the liquid to also store the energy that they're expected to, like.
You would have to essentially find a way to clone Reece,
Yeah.
which is wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They're trying to do that over there with Caden, thus creating a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the inherent issue that the miracle cure will create over time. Is, but what if everyone had nuclear bombs? But what if everyone had that?
Yeah.
Thus, the issue is created. But that was the last part of what I was going to explain here. Is that is what the miracle cure is. And all Enki really did was take all that research that we used to do that and apply it to other things. Because again, once the whole point of curing a disease is you know how to create it.
Yeah.
Because that's how we cure illnesses. Shocker, most vaccines are created from the thing that's killing you.
Once you saw how Reece could regenerate or prevent cell death, you could reverse engineer it or kind of synthesize it. Maybe not as effectively, but what would usually take 200 years to get to, they can dramatically cut down on because they've got this framework to go from.
Hey, we've found a way to reverse cell death. Do you know how we do that? We create more cell death.
They can't
So,
die if they're already dead.
and the last part of it is that the concept between Ava and Caden is that they have soulbound energy inside them. It is killing them.
Oh.
That's why Ava's concept in terms of how she plays in the card game, she's removing cards, she's destroying her resources. The energy is killing her.
So by saving her from the truck, Reese is essentially just prolonged her death.
That is like, so what's actually is going to happen, like I said, this happens at the same time as the previous chapter, is that that's not Reese's energy. Reese's energy is blue. What you're going to see is her energy is not blue. It's red or green.
Oh.
If you look at all the cards, it's either red or green.
But Reece is still infusing the energy in there, so
yeah, but then there's some other things that happen in between, and this is why again there's like a little bit of a jump in terms of time. But yeah, that's really it for espionage personally. It's like now you're starting to notice how I'm doing a lot of the world building and a lot of explanations versus like the 6-page chapter back there where not a whole lot was said, but I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's
explaining
it's
things
kind of it's
versus
kind of
this
like
one.
setup.
But this one, you have a lot of character work and a lot of world building at the same time. Now you start when I said before, you're going to start seeing me finally gaining my wings and
Yeah,
like learning how to actually write a book
I mean,
versus
like the big thing in here is, although NK and the government are working together, it's all through Enki's supervision. And Natalie doesn't want to be supervised. So how do we do that? Well, we show that Enki isn't secure enough to supervisors. So
yep,
because like the thing at the end is like Reece is saying you need to be supervised by my staff. It's like, but you're a liability for us.
yeah, you are a liability.
And I think
Specifically, she says, "Need I remind you, this was your premises and your security. You ensured us that's sufficient for the level of importance." It's
yeah.
like you told us this was okay, and obviously she played into that where he said it not knowing exactly that he would have to deal with something like this.
Yeah. I
Ah,
mean, like,
yes, I put the bear trap down that you set that you stepped in. It's not my fault you stepped in, idiot.
but like Reece isn't aware of other soulbounds or waking beings, unlike Natalie and Vincent, who
It
are
is
aware of
it
it.
is it is known that almost everyone in the cast up until the next chapter that they all assumed that none of that they were all singular.
Well, Vincent knows of other superpowered beings because he knows the Gabrick.
Yeah, he knows that there are others like superpowered beings, but none like him.
Yeah.
He knows that there are things out there that are as strong as him, but not the same as him. And that's really like the the line there, right? Is that Reece doesn't know, Miska doesn't know, Lily does,
Oh.
and that's what goes on in the next chapter. Is that Lily is the character that is the exposition dump.
I mean, I guess being able to communicate with the dead, they can communicate with the previous soulbound of the Rowdy Boys. So it can be kind of like have a cheat code of, yeah, this is how your powers work.
Yeah, talking with the dead is real easy when the dead is the spirit right there. That's the soulbound creature right there. That's the guardian right there. He's dead. I can see him. That's just my normal thing.
Yeah. So, Alpha Pendragon died, but I can see him right there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, he's right there.
might
And also to Lily, Arthur might look different. Who
yeah,
knows?
might struggle a little bit more with like forces of nature like the Phoenix and Fenrir, but
Oh yeah, no. She probably can't see the Phoenix. That thing's not. It's not dead? Question mark. Well,
now
maybe.
I mean
Yeah.
the next
Well,
chapter, the next chapter is confrontation. I assume, yeah, you said we're going to be seeing Lily, but given the way that Espionage ended, I imagine we're going to be following Reece and him coming to terms with what he's done to his company and almost like trying to find a way process what's happening.
confrontation is named that because it obviously a confrontation happens.
Yeah.
The next chapter focuses on Super Skullman, Lily, and Reece
Oh.
because the, it was my job from the original start to take all these pieces of art and link them together. A lot of the Red Horizon 1 art shows Lily and Reece going at it. And then there's part 2 in Tides of Vengeance where you have Skullman, Reece, and Lily in the same pictures. So it's like I had to link them somehow. I was like, you know what, this is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's still following that skeleton that the sets gave you, but but twisting it to follow your narrative.
yeah. Um, and also in confrontation, I got to actually like play a little bit with the whole idea of Arthur. Arthur is helpful to Reece, but also he does not know a lot. So when he recommends, hold on, here's a little part of it. The ghostly knight floated towards Reece, passing through his desk, placed a hand on Reece's shoulder and stopping him. Squire, your mind is muddy. Shall I recommend clearing it with the nectar of the gods and camaraderie with a few wonderful ladies of the night? And he's just saying, hey, do you want to go to a strip club?
Uh,
And then he says, I know you're a ghost. You can't exactly like, you know, you're a ghost. You can't really enjoy this stuff.
yeah.
And he's like, but I do know you enjoy the sight at least. He goes, I do enjoy watching the seductive arts of what they do. Like it, I'm trying to make Arthur as like as a normal of a person as possible. But yeah, seven. So chapter 6 and with and then chapter 7 were like the where I started really coming into my own. I really started to feel like this is what I want to write. So you're gonna start seeing more stuff like this where I go into a lot. And actually, there is a intermission chapter in between. It's not really that, so we could go over that as well. It's just called intermission, and it's the joke. It was the Princess Bride, where it's like this is the chapter where a lot of stuff happened, but we're not going to go over it.
It's also like the Monty Python and the Holy Grail kind of thing, like with the intermission stuff coming on. Like,
Yeah, it's like I just use that point to go to basically TLDR what Lily is telling them.
yeah,
Guardians of Soulbound, Guardians and Awakened,
the thing,
Soulbound.
yeah,
Like
the things that we kind of have already been able to figure out and learn through the story is being explained to the characters.
yeah, but I will say six is what 5 and 6 was when I really started to feel like I know what I'm doing. I got this. I'm good now.
Yeah.
But that's really that's really all I
No,
got.
I mean we're getting in towards the build up to Act 3. We've had the Act 1 set up. We've had the Act 2 kind of uh, confrontation with Cade and Ava. We're now building into the part. We're building our cast up, but we are approaching the end of Volume 1 because we've got 4 chapters left.
And those four chapters got a lot of stuff in them.
Yes, there's going to be a lot to go into. I'm excited to see where this goes. It's been great kind of going through this. Yeah, Espionage was a really cool chapter. We got to see a showcase of power. We got to see, like, again, another showcase of the depths of Natalie's devious mind. The fact that she is literally playing chess while people are playing checkers. Everything's kind of going to her plan and she's quick to adapt. So it's going to be quite interesting to see if she's taken down and how she's taken down throughout, like, the struggle of our heroes.
It's not going to happen for some time, I
That's
assure you.
we've got to deal with Vincent first, the incredible threat. But thanks for joining me, Cody. It's been great as always. If you're not up to date on the series, why did you start at like chapter 6? Head back to the beginning of the series. I'm looking forward to going on. This is a bit. The story has really fleshed out what's happened in Red Horizon, and like you said, the story is now getting into like the meat and potatoes of the story. We're starting to get into the bigger overarching storyline after the setup, and I'm really excited to see where this is going. Have you got anything that you'd like to say to the people watching before we wrap up?
Have a nice day.
Right, have a nice day. And remember, for Theories, News and more, win, lose, or draw, keep it UK Versus, and we'll both see you at game night. Bye.